What is an outfit that someone can wear every single day? Because that's my issue with patterns. You wear a pattern once and then you see that person again and they remember that you wore that pattern yesterday.
I got this big break of just like styling for Mike Tyson for his TV show.
How is he, first of all?
Like, he is exactly what you'd expect. He has like this energy, like he was radiating heat.
Amazing.
It was unbelievable.
Hi, Rachel. My name is Liz Teich. I'm a fashion stylist.
Well, I'm sure, as you guys know, as like female founders, like you want to do it all. You think that you can do better than anybody else, but at some point you hit your breaking point. I think it's important that like you can do it all, but do you need to do it all?
Yeah. If someone was to start today in your space, be a stylist or do something, even a new venture, how would you go like recommend them building their brand?
I feel like it's different for everybody, but I think the biggest thing is to connect with as many people and
All right. We're so excited to be here.
No,
Hi, Liz.
I'm not. I've been dreading today because you're
no.
so fabulous.
Oh my God.
And you're like always.
Okay, we have to roast Lee on her outfit. This is what we're doing
awful.
today.
there's no mercy. You guys,
Oh my
first of all,
God.
you guys match.
First
today.
of all,
You
Yeah, we
guys
do
plan
match.
this?
We were just told that we never wear patterns by this girl we work with at QVC. She was
That's
like,
okay.
why don't you guys ever wear patterns? Like, she was concerned about us. And we said, well, it's a Hulken dress code. Like,
Yeah,
we don't have patterns. No, joking.
Well, are you gonna introduce patterns?
Well,
to
I
the
think we
Hulken?
need you because, like, I
to.
don't know how to, like, make patterns cool. You need to
wait,
tell us.
before we even start talking about patterns, give us the rundown on yourself. Like, what is that boilerplate pitch on who you are and why you're even sitting here today?
Oh wow, no pressure.
I mean, a lot of pressure.
I'm Liz Teich. I'm a fashion stylist. I have almost 2 decades of experience as a commercial stylist and then kind of evolved into social media and personal styling. And I'm a style expert. I advise on a lot of brands and publications. And I'm also a mom of 2, which I think is like my most important job.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I will say, I've known Liz for years at this point because you're one of our OG Hulken users.
I guess so. I don't
You
know.
really
I-
are.
Yeah.
And we launched in 2020, and I actually remember you outside of Hulken because I think we gave birth around the same time,
Yes.
April 2020.
Oh my goodness.
Right?
in the
When is your
thick of
daughter?
it.
Like,
April 20th, yeah.
April 20th. Noam is April 27th.
Oh my
and like we're
goodness.
both in New York City and it's at the
What a
time where
time.
everyone,
What a time.
nobody knew what was going to happen. We're all kind of like stressed out. There were all these Facebook groups for pregnant
Yeah.
women
Oh, yeah.
that were delivering.
That's right.
And then I just remember your name from that. And then you popped up again using Hulken.
Like
maybe
I
a year or
actually
two
bought
after.
3 Hulkens. Like as soon as I discovered it, I was like, I need this in my life. And I went out and bought 3 of them. And then you reached out to me and I was like, I'm obsessed with you and everything you're
It's
doing.
amazing.
Yeah.
And you've given us so much love throughout the years on your platform, which is incredible.
Well,
and
I
we're
truly believe what you guys are doing. And anytime there's like female founders, I mean, it's kind of like what you guys do. You lift
Yeah.
other people up. And when we're all
Right.
helping each other, then
Yeah,
we're all doing
we're on
well.
the same wavelength. Let's
Yes.
just put it that way.
I'd love to actually, though, double tap on your platform and how you even built it. Like, how did you build your following?
And when
Oh,
did
it
you
just like
start?
happened
Yeah,
last
what-
night, and you know,
No work
I mean,
involved.
if people ask me all the time, like, "What's your secret?"
No,
and
really,
I'm still
what is
figuring
it?
out.
But
I'm
how
like,
did you? What were the ingredients that you think made it happen?
time, tenacity, and creativity.
And is it mostly focused on Instagram? Have you built onto TikTok? Like, how are you even thinking about that?
Reluctantly, yes.
Okay.
I jumped on the TikTok bandwagon once
Yeah.
I found out that was, it's a whole other audience, so why not?
Yeah.
And I'm just repurposing some of my content. I had
Okay.
a friend who was huge on TikTok, like Small Peanuts on Instagram. He's like, just repurpose your content. I basically built my brand. I was styling for
Yeah.
brands for many years and advertising, and I ended up discovering this whole thing called blogging, and I was styling bloggers for an ad campaign, and I
Okay.
said, well, I can do that.
Yeah.
And I have so much more to say because I have experience in fashion.
Yeah.
Like a lot of these girls are right out of college or
Yeah.
in college.
Yeah.
So I started a blog in
Wow, so it was
2011.
it the early, so like
2011.
Tegan that we just had on the podcast too, she started in 2011, early days of blogging.
Early days, yeah.
And it's still to this day remains her primary channel, which
Is
is
that your
interesting.
private, or
So-
is it more mostly Instagram now?
Instagram is mostly where my reach is,
Yeah.
but I haven't totally given up on my blog,
Yeah.
although everything's kind of moved to Substack. I don't do Substack because that's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
And for me, I want to focus on one thing and do it really well.
Yeah.
So that's why
I have to say, you put
Instagram is
so much focus on your Instagram content. Like, it's really quite incredible. Like, the
Thank
quality
you.
of your videos are really up there.
Are you doing it yourself, or do you have a team?
Well,
Wow.
I will say I have a team that, I mean, it takes a village, as you guys
Yeah.
know. So I have a woman who is incredible with all my marketing. She does my newsletter. We have, she's built my newsletter about 40,000 subscribers.
Wow.
this
And when did
past
you bring
year.
her on? Like, when did you transition from like hustling and hacking it yourself to bringing on outside help?
Well, I'm sure, as you guys know, as like female founders, like you want to do it all. And
Yeah,
it's so
totally.
hard to delegate and
100%.
just give up that
Yeah.
role of things that you think that you can do better than anybody else. But at some point, you hit your breaking point.
Totally.
And for me, I was a little stressed out, and I was like, I can't do this all myself. And if I want to grow, I have to hire people. So I hired this amazing woman. She's a designer out of, I think, Vancouver.
Okay.
We've never met in person, and she basically revamped my branding, my website, my marketing approach, does my newsletters. So
So she
that
did
was a
like
game
the
changer.
refresh, and then
She gave
also
me a
made-
refresh,
Yeah.
even though that's my brand
But
is the closet
what's
refresh.
incredible is that for the longest time, you did it all yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that, because there are so many tools out there that you can use, that women can use to build their business from scratch.
Yes.
And you did that.
Well, I think it's
and you got really
important.
far.
Yeah, well, I think it's important that like you can do it all.
Yeah.
But do you need to do it
And
all?
do you want to?
No.
And something that I listen to a lot of like business podcasts like yours, and a lot of people are saying that like if it's not something that's going to like help you and move your needle, and something that is just like a pain point of your business, that's the time to delegate it. So a couple years ago, I hit my breaking point, and I was like, I need to delegate a lot of this stuff, and it made a difference. So I have also
absolutely.
a virtual assistant out of Omaha, Nebraska, who again never met, but we've worked together for years, and she's
And what is she
incredible.
doing? Like managing your schedule?
She does my scheduling for my personal styling. So she is kind of like my ghostwriter for my emails with my, anybody that reaches out to work with me, and deals with all the back and forth. So I can focus on the actual business.
Yeah.
And then I just hired a new agency to rep me for Instagram, and they've been amazing. So it really takes a team.
Yeah.
How do you think about your business in terms of like personal styling and also just like online? Like, how are you even strategizing about where the growth goes?
Yeah.
Also, you have this massive following online. I assume a lot of the inbound is probably people wanting styling that might not be in New York. Like, how do you think about it?
I wish I could say I have a plan.
Let's create one right now.
But it's more, it kind of all goes hand in hand. So the Instagram is really a huge channel for, like you said, getting clients and reaching out to people.
Yeah.
But I also have really good SEO, so I get a lot of people just from Google. I wish I said, like I said, I don't have a plan, but it's whenever I have days off, that's when I'm working on the business part of it and the whole aspect of the social media. And then the other days I have clients. So it's kind of a little of everything.
Do you have it like, is there a piece of your business you enjoy the most?
Working with people.
Okay.
And meeting people and new brands and connecting with people. I think the connection is the most important thing for me. I started my whole career working in an office, and I loved the people. And I loved the people I worked with, but it was very hard to be sitting at a desk in a cubicle in front of a computer, feeling like I'm going to waste my life away when I'm not connecting with people. My favorite part of that job was being on set and being creative and collaborative with other people, and it's so important for my soul.
And I see you're always on the go with your hulking, going place to place, and you like it, that fills you, that makes you happy.
Yeah, it definitely fills my cup, and it's something that it's always been a priority to me to enjoy what I do. I've spent years miserable working for a company, and
now you're happy.
Now I'm happy. I actually the point where I realized I needed to switch things up was I lost a mentor who was my former boss to brain cancer, and I lost my mom to brain cancer when I was a kid. So it was kind of like the universe telling me I need to do my own thing.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so you talked about your mom a little bit, but that happened when you were very young.
I was very young.
You were 8.
Yeah.
Wow. And how do you feel like that shaped where you're at today?
So I feel like there's a part of me that has a little almost like guilt, but also like drive because my mom had so many passions and her main focus was me, and she was a stay-at-home mom. But when I got to a certain age, she was like ready to get back into the workforce and to do things. And I feel like I'm picking up where she left off and what she would have loved.
Beautiful. Yeah. And she was very stylish. I've seen pictures.
She was very stylish.
She looks like you.
Thank you. Yeah, that's a huge compliment because she was stunning and always put together. Yeah. But in a creative way, kind of like what I do. We didn't have a lot of money growing up, so we shopped at garage sales. She made a lot of our own clothes. And it was something that was always an inspiration to me. And that's probably why I do what I do. And I have such a passion for styling and sustainability and being creative.
Did you have siblings?
I have 2 half sisters, so didn't grow up with them, but also they're a very big inspiration for me. My oldest sister is a stylist as well.
Oh my goodness!
Oh my gosh!
So
are you guys competitive ever?
No,
not even a little bit.
We do no, not at all because she's so
He has
supportive.
a sister. I don't have a sister.
Yeah.
She's 12 years older. Okay. Oh, she's gonna kill me if she listens to that. We're the same.
You mean 12 years younger?
Yes, yeah. Actually, she everybody asks like who's the older sister, and she loves that because she's amazing. But she's always been my mentor and somebody I looked up to, and she's one of the top stylists in Boston. Wow. So it's never been really great city. So it's never been like a competition, and she's been really supportive, and I've learned so much from her. So I've been really lucky to have such a close mentor.
Yeah, of course. And how has losing your mom at a very, an age, right, like 8 years old, that's that time it shapes you. Like how has it approached just even your life decisions and how you think about being a parent?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely affects everything I do when it comes back to that. I think I, in a lot of ways, had to raise myself. So I think it kind of prepared me for motherhood.
Yeah, right.
And I was very lucky. My dad was very supportive and didn't know how to raise a girl. So he gave me all the tools. So anytime I wanted a magazine, so I had subscriptions to like 17, Teen, Vogue, like all the big ones. And that's really where I got my knowledge from about just like being a girl and how to like, dress and all the different things. So that really shaped me, I think.
Of course.
And I think how I approach my life and my business, I know that life is precious now. And so everything I do, it's kind of in that lens, like, does this fill my cup? Does this make me happy? Is this worth my time? Because time is precious.
Yeah, and clearly it allowed you to like focus your energies in things that you love.
Yes.
And now you're shining. I mean, look at you, like literally like a sunshine on this set, like all dressed in yellow, because you do things that make you happy.
Yes, I think that's really important. And it's just like fashion. It makes you happy when you're feeling good with what you're wearing. Yeah. It changes your whole mood, your whole affect, and how you are kind of perceived from other people.
Oh, I have a question about this because we just did a commentary episode on how to be with your partner from that standpoint. And we were saying how important it is to actually still, after many years, like I've been with my husband for over 10 years at this point, to still make an effort and still look a certain way. Like, any advice on this? Like, how do you manage this at home? Are you always this fabulous is the question. Like, I think you did tell me you always get dressed even when you work from
dressed. I mean, I do have my days where my hair is up in a bun and I have no makeup and I'm wearing sweatpants for sure. I'm not like that crazy. But during like the pandemic, I was still getting dressed every single day because not just for my husband, but for me. Like, it was my motivation. It was something that I felt like I could show up for my kids and my husband and feel like a sense of normalcy.
There is something psychological about getting dressed. Totally. Even when you're working from home, it gives you that energy and makes you more productive in a way that wouldn't.
And even if it's like the mailman seeing me, like it makes me happy to feel.
What's going on with you and the mailman? Does he have small package like that other guy?
Oh my gosh,
not my type, but
we'll leave it there. But what about your partner?
Yeah, I mean, I think I definitely like getting dressed for, obviously, when he's like, oh, I love what you're wearing. It makes a difference in your relationship and how you feel. But I hate to say I kind of do it more for me.
No, you shouldn't hate to say it. That's amazing. That's why to do it.
That's amazing.
And what are, like, okay, I am just so lazy. I love sweatpants.
Yeah, who doesn't?
But what are the ingredients for someone that just wants to not think about it but look put together?
So I call it the mama form, like your
Okay.
mom uniform. So find what makes you feel comfortable, but also put together.
So what is your advice?
So, I mean, like if those jeans are comfortable,
Okay.
do jeans like that
Okay.
and wear them all the time. But
Yeah.
if you feel better in sweatpants, find a pair of pants that is kind of the equivalent, but looks
Yeah.
more polished.
Okay.
Like I have a pair of like travel pants from
Okay.
M
Yep.
that are so comfortable.
Yeah.
Actually, you're traveling all the time. You might want a pair.
No, I'm interested.
They have a whole like section on their site.
I know those. Yeah.
So, but they look like they're pinstripe
Yeah.
and they're like a trouser, and
Yeah.
people
Yes.
are like, "Wow, you look so put together." But
Yeah.
like I'm wearing sweatpants, but
Yeah.
disguised.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
No,
what
I
is
love
an
those.
outfit that someone can wear every single day? Like not like exact same outfit, but just like, because that's my issue with patterns. You wear a pattern once and then you see that person again and they remember that you wore that pattern yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, is
I
there
mean, it's
something
definitely easier to get dressed when you have a minimal wardrobe and it kind of all is cohesive.
Yeah.
But that being said, I don't do many patterns, but when I do, it's like a stripe or a polka dot, something that is
Yeah.
easily mixed and matched. So don't be afraid of pattern and wear more of your clothes. And I think that's an easier way. Like I had a woman who I went through her whole wardrobe and she said, I want a capsule collection and like a whole capsule wardrobe. And when you think of a capsule wardrobe, you think of like very simple clothes.
right.
Everything she had was like Farm Rio, lots of prints and loud and patterned.
Yeah,
And we made a
interesting.
capsule wardrobe out of it just by mixing and matching pieces, and it all was cohesive. So as long as your wardrobe's cohesive
Okay.
and it all works together, it doesn't matter what's in it.
And do you keep the clothes in a drawer or hang them up? Does that make a difference?
Ooh, it does. Well,
No, I
you
think
can do
it might-
either.
okay.
But it's more important that I always say when it's out of sight, it's out of mind. So if you don't,
True.
it's like
If you
you
don't
know,
see
if
it,
you
you're not
don't
gonna wear it.
eat
Yeah.
your vitamins out,
Yeah.
you might not
Yeah.
remember to take
Yeah.
them. So it's
Yeah.
things when they're visible, you're more likely to wear them. So I recommend leaving out as much as possible. But I had a client last week who hung all of her T-shirts, and I said maybe they're better suited in a drawer because you know exactly where your T-shirts are
Yeah.
going to be.
Yeah,
You know if I want a white T-shirt, where to grab it,
Yeah.
and I file them vertically like a card catalog. God,
Yeah.
that's dating myself.
that?
And that helps you kind of file and see it.
Yeah.
Whereas if you hang your jeans, they're hard to sift through
Yeah.
and see in a
Right.
drawer. So I always like to tell people to hang their jeans.
Oh,
And it's
interesting.
better for your jeans anyway.
Yeah. No, that makes so much sense.
And what's the band you were talking about? You were saying that.
Oh, yeah. No, I see it
in the band.
I think maybe it's a thing for tall people. I don't know, but I think everyone should have it. Like when I put a sweater inside my pants,
Yeah.
and then it's a little bulky, and I never know, and I want it a little
Yeah.
bit cropped, and so there's a band that Liz
There's a
recommends.
band.
You wear around your waist.
There's a few of them.
Yeah.
I have one I love called the crop top band.
That's
Okay.
the one.
Appropriately named.
Interesting.
That is seamless, and you just
Yeah.
slip it over, and it just tucks it all in.
Exactly.
There's
So you
another
like
one.
tuck your.
Basically, you
shirt
don't
in-
really need to tuck it in as much because this is what makes it look tucked.
So it fakes the tuck.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Fakes
Oh,
the tuck.
wow.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to have to, spend the money on that, or
Yeah.
if you travel all the time, you might forget it.
Yeah.
You can even take a belt that you already have and just
Yeah.
tuck it within the belt.
Yeah,
I have a reel
I
on
need
that.
you to show me. Yeah, exactly. You have a reel on that.
What are the things that, like the fundamental clothes choices everyone should have in their closet?
Ooh,
Like, what are the 5 things that a woman in her mid 30s to mid 40s should have?
That's a tough one, and I get this all the time because, like, people are like, "What should I buy? Like,
Yeah.
what are the 5 things I need?"
Yeah.
But really, it's different for everybody, and I wouldn't say like one size fits all.
Yeah.
Like, it's just kind of like what's good for your body. It's like you guys are all individual, and what you need is
Yeah.
different than what somebody else needs. But that being said, I think a quality pair of jeans
Okay.
Yeah.
doesn't have to be expensive, but
And
a
what
pair of
makes
jeans
a
that you feel-
quality, like,
So not too much stretch.
Yep.
I think it's important to get, I always say around 80% cotton. A lot of jeans, people don't look at the labels.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
no,
it's
that's true.
important
Just
to
assume,
see,
yeah.
like they'll say, oh, it's cotton, but it's really mostly like spandex and nylon and polyester and things
Yeah.
that are not only bad for your jeans,
Yeah.
but bad for the environment.
Yeah.
yeah.
So 80% or more cotton and something that you feel great in.
Okay.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
So that's important. I think it's also really important to do quality shoes. A lot of people, especially
Don't
like
look at my feet.
Yeah,
I don't
we're
even
all like tucking our feet away.
Feet above.
Oh my
our
goodness.
eyes above. So
Well, no, I mean, so
Stop,
those
please.
are great quality sneakers.
I know, but they're used. They're dirty. We
that's
get
fine.
it. Okay. Yeah. What's going on? Do we have to clean these?
I
Yes.
would recommend cleaning them.
Okay.
I don't think you should get rid of them because they're great. And people, this is a misconception.
Okay.
People are like, oh, they're dirty. I have to go replace
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
Take care of your clothes.
Yeah, take care of your clothes.
So how do I
Actually,
clean them? Just
So
with-
if you want to just do a little hack, if you
Yeah.
have a magic eraser, like the Mr. Clean Magic
Yeah.
Eraser,
Okay.
just clean it up with that.
Smart.
Let's get
I
these
really-
big feet out
Okay,
here.
no.
Let 'em
Saying
off
hidden in the
shoes.
back.
But I like, there's a brand called Jason Mark, and they're like a bunch of California bros that started this like startup with like cleaners for your sneakers and wearables, and they make the best sneaker cleaner.
Oh, wow.
And it's non-toxic too.
Okay, we'll link
amazing.
that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And what about t-shirts? How do you like a t-shirt to? I know it varies based on body type, but is there a rule of thumb in how a t-shirt should fit a woman?
Oh, so t-shirts are kind of, it depends on the person
Yeah.
again. Like I say, if you're a little bit bustier, you might want to go with something a little bit scoop neck or a
Okay.
lower neck or even a boat neck, just to kind of bring the eye up and away from your bust.
Yeah.
Whereas if you have a smaller chest, it's
Yeah.
okay to go a higher neck, so that way it just, kind of makes you look
Yeah.
a little like
Yeah,
bustier.
yeah.
But as far as fit, I like everything from fitted to
Okay.
like oversized and
Yeah.
a little relaxed. But I will say that, again, look at the label.
Yeah.
The most important thing is that it's cotton, and
Okay.
like you,
at least 80% cotton.
I would say 100% cotton for
100%
t-shirts.
t-shirts.
Yeah.
It's really important, especially look for organic or Pima cotton. I'm really into, especially with jeans too, regenerative cotton.
Oh, okay.
Nobody
about
talks
this.
about this.
Yeah, no, tell us more.
So regenerative cotton is beyond organic. So organic, you don't,
Yeah.
obviously, like you're not putting pesticides on
Yeah.
it, but you don't know the practices of the farming. Regenerative farming
okay,
is
yeah.
essentially where they are making sure the land can be used again
afterwards.
and it's
wow, it
it's
makes-
done in a
yeah,
clean
huge
way.
difference.
Yeah, wow. So what brands use that?
So right now I'm really loving Citizens for Humanity
Okay.
does regenerative cotton.
cool.
I
Good to
believe
know.
Bash does as well. They're a certified B Corp,
Yeah.
which is also something
okay.
to look
Oh, I
for
didn't know that
when
about
you are
Bash.
shopping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there are a lot of brands jumping
do
on
that.
that, and
Yeah.
it's really exciting. So, but for t-shirts, definitely 100% cotton, or even if it's linen, that's fine. But make sure that it's all natural and not synthetic.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll last longer. It won't pill.
Yep.
It'll look better.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, take care of your t-shirts.
Take care of your
We don't want to
t-shirts.
buy disposable t-shirts.
Yeah.
No, oh
and
my gosh,
keep
no.
replacing
Or
them all the time.
disposable tote bags on wheels.
See, exactly. It's all that taking
Got to
care
invest
of
in
your
quality.
Yes.
You mentioned before that you were shopping from garage sales growing up.
Yes.
And like that very much fits in this entire philosophy of being sustainable with your shopping, and like any other advice to be more sustainable on that front, because we're all tempted to obviously like fast shopping. It's
course.
there,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's one more thing that we need to think about. But like how to be smart about it in a way that doesn't feel overwhelming.
So I think it all comes back to shopping your closet before you shop anything else. And it's so, obviously, I'm guilty of it too,
Yeah.
where I'm like, oh, I
Yeah.
want that new great thing
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
on trend and that everybody else is
Yeah.
having. But when you look at your closet and you try to style things in new ways, it makes it feel new.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why everything's in your closet. So let's work with what you already have. Maybe you have to tailor it. Maybe you have
Yeah.
to style it in a different way that feels
tailor
fresher.
it. Yeah.
Maybe you add an accessory that you didn't before. So
Yeah.
I think it all comes back to that
Yeah.
and working with what you have first.
Oh, I need to be better at this.
Yeah,
So
you have
every
a
time
lot
I go
of
on
clothes.
TV, I
She
like
has so many
panic
clothes.
shop.
You
I
need
mean,
to go
I
to
have a lot of
Lisbon.
clothes
I
too.
panic
so.
shop.
We're flying her to
okay.
Lisbon.
all
so you
around
need
New
clothes.
York for new outfits for whatever TV stand I have going on, and it's like such a waste.
It is, and I'm with you because I used to do a lot of TV appearances,
Yeah.
and obviously I'm going to events and different
Yeah.
things that I'm
Right,
going to be
so
seeing.
much, yeah.
So I rely heavily on like Rent the Runway,
Yeah.
which has been great for that because you
Yeah.
can send it back and
Yeah.
then you're done with
Smart,
that. So I like renting clothes.
Yeah.
I also shop the Real a lot. So like if I have an event that I'm only going to be seen once, I don't want
Yeah.
to spend, $500
price,
for a dress
Yeah.
that I'm only going to wear once.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'll get it pre-owned. And
Yeah,
then
yeah,
you
yeah.
get something really fabulous. And then you
Yeah.
can sell it again.
Yeah,
Super smart.
that's so true.
You talked about in your answers about working with Mike Tyson. Do you want to tell us about that story? That looked interesting.
So that was like actually in the beginning stages of when I became a stylist. I was assisting for years, and I got this big break of just like styling for Mike Tyson for his TV show.
Amazing.
And
how is he, first of all?
Like, he is exactly what you'd expect. He's a force. He has like this energy, like he was radiating heat. It was unbelievable. And I'm not always starstruck because I work with celebrities so many times, but this was, I don't know, there was nothing like working with him.
Physically, he has such a
Physically,
presence.
he has a presence. So I was doing a shoot for his show on the Discovery Channel, and he had just filmed The Hangover 2 and literally came off the plane, came right to the shoot. And I had the whole room set up, and I had spoken with his manager, who was his wife at the time, and asked what her his preferences are. And then I got literally every pair of jeans from Lucky brand, because that's all he wears.
Oh my gosh.
And I got every style Timberland boots, because that's all he wears.
Wow.
And I had a whole room of this. And then he comes in, and I went to go introduce myself. He walked right past me and went right to the wardrobe room, closed the door, and took an hour nap.
Oh my God. That's and then was he nice though when it came out?
He was really nice to me. He was really sweet, and he would ask like in a very gentle voice, he's like, "Where are you from?" And very sweet to me, but then he would like shout chamomile tea, and like somebody come running over with chamomile tea. It was just like a really interesting experience. And it was all about his pigeons. So I got to see him and how he interacts with his pigeons, and it's really
well, this is wild.
Yeah, it was wild.
From chamomile tea to pigeons to napping.
So, but he was very nice, and but he wouldn't change his clothes from the waist down. Oh my gosh. And I had literally bought like a whole store with me, and he just like, I'll change the tops. Okay. So we changed tops the whole time, and then he was great. It worked out, but it was just like what an interesting one of my first big jobs.
So how does that, you must have such an interesting perspective because you're with celebrities a lot.
Yeah.
Like, what is the takeaway on that?
They're just like us.
So is that like what? Yeah.
Unless you're Mike Tyson. They're not.
Unless I'm just like us.
So is it, I don't know, like tell me about that. Like what does it teach you about being famous?
So I think my experiences when I've worked with celebrities, it's usually like the musicians or people that have come up from nothing that are like so grateful to be there, that are the nicest, and the ones that like just treat you like anybody else. Like when I was exactly. Like when I was an assistant, like I remember one of my first jobs was a Verizon commercial, and the Verizon guy, I was like, oh my God, you are the Verizon guy. Like that's so cool. You must be so excited. And he's like, honestly, this could go away any minute, so I'm just riding the wave and I'm enjoying it. And he was so nice. And it's like the people that are really grateful for where they are just so nice.
Yeah, no, that's so true. I love that. That's a great piece of advice.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, this is something that like my mentors in the industry always told me, like you want to be nice to everybody, whether
we were just talking about this.
Are somebody that you are like, want to impress, or if it's somebody that is just like the person
100%.
that's getting the coffee. Like you want to be nice. You never know.
You never know.
It's amazing who.
No,
it's a small industry. Karma. Yeah, it's good karma. Yeah.
And that's how you would want to be treated.
Exactly. And I felt this. I came from being an assistant for years, and I remember people.
And you're being overlooked a lot, I bet.
Oh,
like,
I mean, I was
film
persona non grata. Yeah. Oh, you know.
And it was like being a woman on set. Yeah. As a production assistant, you're like,
they treat you awful.
You don't exist.
Yeah. So I know exactly what it was like. So that's how I feel too.
Okay, I love that.
Yeah.
So before we wrap up, love to know if someone was to start today in your space, they want to be a stylist or do something, even a new venture, whatever it is.
Like and building that brand for themselves.
How would you go like recommend them building their brand?
Wow, that's a tough question because I feel like it's different for everybody, but I think the biggest thing is to connect with as many people and learn from other people. Even if it's not in your space, I think it's important, like kind of like what you guys are doing. I started a podcast actually during the pandemic, short-lived because I got too busy, but it was such a great thing to kind of pick other people's brains on how they're doing it because like everybody that's a success story has had a journey and roadblocks and ups and downs.
Totally agree.
You look at somebody from the outside and you're like, wow, how did they do this? And then you realize their journey, and it's like it doesn't happen overnight, and it's not coincidental that they just
I love
became
that
successful.
so much. And this is why we have the podcast, literally. Because people were coming to us all the time for advice.
Yeah.
And then we love just learning from others, and every path is different. Every journey's different from the next.
So what have you guys learned as your takeaway?
I mean, I actually think it's such a good reminder, like you just talked about, just treating everyone with the same
respect.
level of respect. But I actually have a question on confidence, especially for you, because you're in this industry where I think it could probably be very hard to have confidence because everyone's almost like judging how you're putting together an outfit, probably judging how you look, judging like when you walk in the room, people are probably like, oh, do you like, you must feel the pressure. Yes. What are the tricks? So what are the tricks on having confidence?
Ooh, well, obviously a good outfit. I think that makes a huge difference. But I do think it's something that comes with age. Okay. Like I wasn't always confident, and I think I didn't dress that way growing up, and but I always use fashion as kind of like my shield. So I would make sure I had a great outfit, and then people would compliment me on the outfit, and that's how I got to approach people because I was super shy, and it was a great way to connect. And
on that, and also the confidence of going from like assistant stylist to like the stylist. How did you have confidence to even make that leap?
Oh, it was really scary because you don't make money if you're not working. And when I made the leap, I couldn't take assistant jobs, or otherwise people saw me as an assistant. And then, but I couldn't get the styling jobs because I was so new in the industry. So it was really a scary time to do that. But I had to, again, have that confidence in that I knew what I was doing at that point. But it takes experience. Like really confidence comes with experience.
Amazing.
Wow. Love
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you,
time.
Liz. So fun to have you.
It's so nice to see you guys.